Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. So, are you seriously still paying for Cursor? At this point, it's getting harder to justify. There are tons of videos and creators out there now sharing way better alternatives and, honestly, it's kind of wild if you're still sticking with Cursor. Cursor has let a lot of people down. It's buggy, the pricing model keeps getting worse, and updates feel more like patches than real improvements. What used to feel promising now feels like a bloated, overhyped mess. Honestly, it's just not worth your time or your wallet anymore. The so-called unlimited plan, you might be wondering what all the fuss is about. Well, here's the deal. They rolled out a jaw-dropping $200 plan and basically turned the $20 tier into a glorified demo. Behind the scenes, they've throttled model requests without even telling users what the actual limits are. You're lucky to get 4 Claude 4 prompts in before hitting a wall. And don't even get me started on the subreddit. It's a flood of refund demands and frustrated rants. Back when everyone was hyped and throwing money at Cursor, actually it was the classic VC trap. They hook you with a slick product, get you dependent, and then jack up the prices tenfold. It's a textbook bait and switch. So today, I am sharing a smarter alternative which you can use. These new tools not only outperform Cursor, but they're also way more affordable and, in some cases, totally free if you're okay with a few quirks. Let's dive into it. Let's kick things off with the editor setup. You've got two solid choices here: Void or Visual Studio Code with the right plugins. Void is blazing fast, super lightweight, and really well built. But if you're willing to trade a few bells and whistles for speed and efficiency, I'll be focusing mostly on the Visual Studio Code, since it's more flexible and familiar for most folks. So, go ahead and download Visual Studio from their official site if you haven't already. It comes with GitHub Copilot baked in, which is fine, but honestly, it's not worth relying on. We're going to do better. I'll walk you through the exact steps to get set up in just a second. To get those generative capabilities, I highly recommend using RooCode. It's a seriously powerful AI coding assistant that's built on top of the Klein framework, but with a ton of extra features layered in. Now, RooCode does require a bit of setup. You'll need to use multiple providers and plug in your API keys. One option is OpenRouter, which lets you manage everything under one credit balance. But heads up, OpenRouter adds a small margin to each token, so it ends up being a bit pricier over time. But there are some models which you can for free with OpenRouter, such as Qwen and DeepSeek. That's why I lean toward RooCode with Requesty as the provider. It's a smoother experience overall. Requesty is also similar to OpenRouter, and it gives you more control. You can tweak system prompts for each request, customize behavior, and really fine-tune your workflow. The beauty of open-source tools like RooCode is the sheer flexibility. You're not locked into one way of doing things. You can experiment, mix and match providers, and find the setup that works best for your style. Setting it up is pretty straightforward. Just head into the settings and create a new profile. Each profile stores its own API configurations, so you can switch between them on the fly. In RooCode, I stick with OpenRouter because it's more customizable and gives me better performance overall. You can adjust everything from system prompts to model behavior, which is super handy if you're doing more advanced coding tasks. It's all about building a setup that works for you, not one that locks you into a paywall. So once I've selected the provider I want to work with, I just pick the model I prefer. Speaking of models, you've got a long list of models such as Claude Sonnet, Gemini, GPT. Claude sits at the premium end, and Gemini lands somewhere in the middle. Personally, I lean toward Gemini 2.5 Pro. It's just better at handling front-end tasks, in my experience. Plus, that massive 1 million token context window? Total game changer, especially when working with tools like Klein. But hey, it's totally up to you. Pick what fits your workflow best. Also, you can choose some free models as well, such as DeepSeek or Qwen. Once you've got your model selected, there's a whole buffet of settings you can tweak. But honestly, the default setup is already pretty solid for most people. Unless you're the kind of person who loves diving into every little toggle and slider, you can probably leave things as is. Still, if you do enjoy customizing your environment, there's a sea of options waiting for you. After that, Just head back to the main interface and start sending prompts. It's smooth, responsive, and works like a charm. Now, let's talk autocomplete, because having a great model is only half the story. You'll want that seamless code completion experience too. If you're using RooCode, you don't need to mess with anything complicated. Just install Gemini Code Assist, and boom, it kicks in automatically. No extra setup needed. It's fast, reliable, and honestly, one of the best autocomplete tools I've used lately. And the best part? It's completely free. Gemini Code Assist is built by Google, and it's surprisingly generous for a free tool. You get up to 6,000 chat completions per day, plus 240 chat interactions. That's more than enough for most devs. And if you're into more advanced workflows, it even includes an agent mode now. Just install it, and your good to go activates on its own and starts helping out right away. Super convenient, especially if you're juggling multiple projects. Speaking of agent mode, there's another piece of the puzzle I want to highlight: the command line interface. Now, I'll be honest, Claude CLI with the $200 plan is fantastic if you're willing to invest. But if you're looking for something powerful and free, Gemini CLI is a fantastic alternative. It's lightweight, easy to use, and comes with generous usage limits. Plus, it pairs beautifully with RooCode and similar tools. With RooCode, you can actually use Gemini 2.5 Pro for free. Yep, there's a free tier that gives you around 200 requests per day. It's not lightning fast all the time, but for a free tool, it's incredibly capable. So if you're trying to build a local, open-source setup that rivals paid tools like Cursor, this is the way to go. You stay in control, save money, and still get top-tier performance. I've been using this setup daily, and honestly, I've never touched Cursor. Not once. I did try Void for a bit, loved the user interface, but nothing beats this RooCode combo for me. It's flexible, powerful, and totally under your control. So if you're tired of paying for tools that lock you in, give this a shot. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by how much you can do with it. That's it for this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your setup or any tweaks you've made. And if you found this helpful, consider subscribing or dropping a super thanks to support the channel. Until next time, happy coding, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.